Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reviewing the Archer and Olive notebooks that I will be using for the next half of 2021. For the reviewing and pen testing, I will be using my current Archer and Olive notebook, which I used and am using for the first half of 2021. The notebook that I'm using right now is the A5 size 192 pages dot grid North Star notebook from Archer and Olive, and I will link that in the description. As I said in my bullet journal setup, I'm going to be using two new notebooks for the next half of 2021 because I'm going to be trying out the B5 size notebooks and I want to see how I can do different spreads in different size notebooks. So each month I will do two different setups, one in my A5 notebook and one in my B5 notebook. That way you guys can have more ideas to use for your bullet journal, and so that you can do the setup according to what size notebook you have. So the B5 notebook that I am using is the Garden Door Grid notebook, and it is 160 pages. And I think that the B5 size only comes with 160 pages. Archer and Olive released this new notebook in the spring, and it's part of the spring collection. My A5 size notebook is the A5 Stardust Grid notebook with gilded edges. And this one I got on sale for Archer and Olive's Mother's Day sale, which was if you buy any of their notebooks, you can get a planner or a gilded edge notebook for 50% off. So I went ahead and bought this one, and this one has gold edges as I mentioned previously. It has 160 pages, and my current journal I am using right now is 192 pages. But I figured since I was going to use my B5 notebook more often for my planning, I decided I didn't really need 192 pages and I could just use 160 pages. Also, the gilded edge notebooks only come with 160 pages. The Archer and Olive notebooks have a cute gold doodle on the front. My A5 journal that I just bought has a hand with stardust falling from the hand, and my B5 size one has a garden door with a bird perched on top. All of the Archer and Olive notebooks have 160 GSM paper unless they're watercolor notebooks, which have 200 GSM. And they also have a pocket in the back to put some stickers in or whatever you want to bring along. They also have a strap to hold the journal together and a pen holder where you can insert a pen. It also comes with two ribbons. One of them is a normal ribbon, the color of the notebook, and the other one has an Archer and Olive logo in gold. As I said before, 160 GSM is pretty thick for journal paper, so you can obviously use lots of different mediums. You can use light acrylic, gouache, and watercolor, or you can just use your normal markers and pens and pencil. So creativity is not limited in these journals because you can use so many different mediums for so many different types of projects. And you don't have to do just bullet journaling. They also have lined and blank paper in addition to dot paper. But since I do bullet journaling on my channel, I'm going to be using my journals for bullet journaling. As I said in the beginning, I was going to do a review of the journal, so let's get into the review. So for the review, I looked around in my stationery collection and collected one of all the types of pens and markers that I have. And I didn't actually realize I had that many pens and markers until I did this review and collected all of them. Honestly, I don't actually use a lot of these markers because I don't really like them, or I prefer some other pens than these pens. But lots of the pens that I'm going to be using are single pens and don't come in packs. So the pens I will be using are the Sakura Pigma Micron 0.5, Inkjoy Gel Pen 0.7, Pilot G2 0.7, Copic Multiliners-Set 0.5, Stabilo Boss Fine Liner 0.4, Papermate Flare Pen Size Medium, 4A Rollerball 0.7, Amazon Basics 0.5, Sharpie Ultra Fine Point, Sharpie Fine Point, Faber-Castell Connectables, Faber-Castell Pitt Brush Pen Size Brush, Zebra Midliners Bold and Fine, Tombow Dual Brush Pens Brush and Fine, Tombow Fudenosuke, Copic Classic Chisel Tip and Fine Tip, Sharpie Metallic, Signo Uniball Gel Pen, which is my personal favorite white gel pen, Uniposca Paint Pen, which is my favorite white paint pen, white Jelly Roll gel pen 0.8, and the gel pen that I got on Amazon, which is the Box and White gel pen. In case you didn't get all of those names, I will put the list in the description. So in addition to those pens and markers, I will also be testing out watercolor and acrylic paints. For the watercolor, I will be testing out a light wash of water, a medium wash of water, and a heavy wash of water. And for the acrylic paints, I will be testing out a light wash of paint and a heavy wash of paint. After I waited for all the things to dry, I flipped over to see the results. As you can see, both Sharpies bleeded, especially the Sharpie Fine Point, which is the one normally used. The Copic Classics also bled through, and I think that this would be the same for the Copic Chows and Copic Sketches. For the watercolor results, the heavy wash, which I put lots of water in, sort of bled through, and you can see a little bit of the black color. The acrylic, however, didn't bleed, probably because the acrylic paint stays on top of the paper and doesn't get absorbed into the paper, but both acrylic and watercolor made the paper a little wrinkly. The watercolor actually made the paper more wrinkly as it is water-based, and the gel pens didn't affect the paper because the ink stays on top of the paper. For my fine liners, none of them bled, though the Foray roller ball did ghost a little bit along with the Amazon Basics pen, but for the Amazon pen I had to press harder because the ink wasn't coming out, so that's partly why it ghosted. A lot of these fine liners actually do bleed on normal printer paper, so I'm really impressed with the quality of the journal paper. And of course you would want a thicker paper because in your journal you do a lot more art and you don't want your art to bleed into the other side because you also want to use the other side. So the reason some of these pens did ghost is because the paper is not glazed. The glazing actually matters because without the glazing, the colors get absorbed more and can bleed. Art journal paper is not glazed, and I think that can be a high or a low depending on your preference. Most journals I prefer unglazed because it has more of a matte effect and it gives you more of a natural effect. But if you do want a glossy finish, you can of course find another journal elsewhere. If the paper was glossy, I don't think the watercolor would have bled as much, even though the absorbed effect may be part of a watercolor technique, which you wouldn't get on glossy paper. Of course, I am not an expert in watercolor, so you might have different opinions about what works and what doesn't work. I do usually markers in my bullet journal. You know, I don't use watercolor or acrylic because I think it's just too heavy. And I don't use gouache because I don't have any, so I'm not going to test it out. So there is my pen review. Obviously, there are many other factors that make me love these journals, but I think that doing or watching a pen test really helps me visualize what I can do in my bullet journal and whether I can use the journal for the mediums of art that I am aiming for without having to fill the journal up or purchase it. The Archer and Olive notebooks have a fabric cover, which you don't see in a lot of cheap ones you buy on Amazon. The first journal I used was from Amazon and the cover was super glossy, but I didn't really like that because it didn't look that natural. I think that the fabric covers on the Archer and Olive journals are great because the golden doodle on the front is supposed to pop out, but if you make the cover pop out too, there won't be much contrast between the doodle and the cover. So I really like the fabric cover. There is one downside to the fabric though, which is that it picks up dust pretty quickly. So if you want to keep your bullet journal clean, you probably don't want to get it too dirty or get it near crumbs or dust. Archer and Olive has a bunch of different sizes to choose from. They have a B6 size, a B5 size, a A5 size, and an 8x8 inch size, and a traveler's journal, which is 4.33 inches by 8.25 inches. So you can pick one that fits your schedule or fits the size you would like. So overall, I love these journals and I think that they are great quality journals that will sustain heavy usage. They are beautiful and aesthetic and I highly recommend them. I hope this will help you decide whether you want to buy these journals or not. If you do, you can always use my promo code LivvyDolphin10 to get 10% off your purchase. I also get a small commission, so please support me by using my promotion code. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video to support my channel and share this video with others. Also follow me on Instagram at livvy.dolphin and visit my Etsy shop at livvydolphinart. And if you guys ever have a bullet journal theme idea, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Again, thank you guys for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye!